heathens, and welcome to my channel. I am Beauty Heathen, and my channel is dedicated to the exploration of paganism through the medium of cosmetics. If you enjoy this subject matter or find my content of interest, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and set the bell to all to be notified of when I upload new videos. For anyone returning to my channel, I'm sure you may notice a little something different. I did apply the foundation to the cosmetic practice head before starting this video in the hopes that maybe, just maybe, it would be a little less tacky when I go to apply other cosmetics. Especially since it seems this foundation tends to be the bane of my existence, I'm not gonna lie. I literally, even without trying, will get it everywhere. Before I even started making the video, I was scrubbing my hands for 10 minutes because I got it all over my hands. But anyway, I digress. Today's episode will be dedicated to exploring the theology of Yoruba. And there's a very big reason why I'm leading off with this specific path, because tomorrow's episode, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really nervous about it, because it's me going in deep into a part of my past, but it also ties into the Yoruba faith, so I felt it would be a good starting place. There it is. Sorry, I was looking for my powder, and please ignore my very vocal cat at the door. She's being a little bit of a pain today. But anyway. Yoruba is an ancient animism religion dating back to 9000 BCE. But what's different about Yoruba is it's not just a religion, but also a tribal ethnic group, largely residing in West Africa. The subsequent information that I'm giving is combined between three sites. World Atlas, and I believe one is Encyclopedia Britannica, and then there was a third site which I will try to give reference to when I get down to that section as well. The Yoruba, as in the tribe, are currently estimated to have about 44 million people worldwide, the majority of whom live in Nigeria. Excuse me, tickle. Where they account for about 21% of the country's population. It is one of the largest ethnic groups in Africa, and they speak the Yoruba language. Yoruba communities also live in other countries besides Nigeria. Some include the Ivory Coast, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Cuba, St. Lucia, Venezuela, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, Brazil, Jamaica. There's practitioners in the United States, including largely in New York. But all in all, they are pretty well spread all over the place. I'm just applying some of the Becca setting powder to try to help this dry down a bit and make it a little less tacky. I thought it was supposed to be translucent, but I guess I'm wrong, so forgive me for that. I'm just trying to give it a dusting, and I'm making a big mess, but that's okay. This tablecloth is getting washed this weekend anyway. I think a few weeks of cosmetic coverage on it is enough to warrant it being washed. The Yoruba traditional religion believes that all human beings pass through what is known as the Ayanmo. And please, if I am, again, mispronouncing any of this in any way, know that I mean absolutely no offense. I just am not familiar with the pronunciation. Okay, I'm just trying to, there we go. That's all I was trying to do. Not trying to lighten the skin color, just dry it down a bit. I think that's pretty good. May have missed a couple places, but all in all, not bad. I'm trying to see for time purposes and aesthetic purposes what adjustments I should make to this routine, and if applying the foundation and perhaps the setting powder before I start the filming works better, I might do that from now on, or at least for a few videos to test it out. But I have to say, so far I'm liking how this affects so far. And hey, I can touch the head and none of the foundation comes off. Yay! May have a lot of dust going around, but that is okay by me right now. I can handle some cosmetic dust. I can finally, potentially, work with this. Alright. Now, as I was saying, their belief system is that all human beings pass through something that is known as the Ayanmo, which translates basically to the destiny or fate. You can see this in other religions. I believe it's Buddhism that has the Wheel of Destiny, reincarnation belief system, and all of that. So this is not just a belief system that they carry, but other belief systems carry as well. They just call it different things. Therefore, according to the Yoruba, humans are eventually expected to become one in spirit with the divine creator, who is also the source of all energy, and is a state which is known as the Olodumare. Olodumare. Besides, every action or thoughts of an individual in the physical realm interact with other living things, and each tries to achieve and find destiny in the spiritual sphere. According to religion, an individual who stops growing in spirituality in any aspect of their lives is destined for invisible potsherds. When I googled potsherds, it came up as fragments of ceramics, and I don't think that's in any way, make, shape, or form what they mean by that. But as of right now, I can't really answer that. And if I do find an updated meaning for that, I will put it in the comments below. I'm just trying to do... I'm starting with the face instead of the eyes today. We'll see how it works. Let's see. Hello. There we go. Life and death in the Yoruba religion belief system is a continuous cycle of existence in different forms of physical bodies, while an individual spirit evolves towards transcendence. Again, this is something you also see carried through in Buddhism. They just call it something very different, and when I cover Buddhism, I will of course try to weed that in. I'm trying the matte rose blush, seeing if I can get a little bit of color. Let's see if I... There we go. Now we're starting to get something on the brush. And hopefully this... I won't overdo it. And of course it doesn't seem to want to work. Why? Oh wait, I'm getting a little something. Just gonna keep trying. The Yoruba people believe that before one is born, they determine their destiny. They decide long before they were ever to arrive on Earth on what they will be doing in the world, where they will live, and who they will love, and even how they will die. A little too far. It's another one of those days. The religion also states that after one is born into the world, all their plans and promises are forgotten, and similarly, their destiny is even forgotten. An individual therefore tries to remember and claim the future they mapped out before they came into the world. Unlike other pagan paths, Yoruba actually has a monotheistic element to it. And as a matter of fact, even more so, they have what you could even call equate to the Christian thought of angels. However, I will get to that in a whole different video, because angels are not a Christian construct by any means, and they do not belong to Christianity. But they are popularized by it. Anyway, I digress. The only difference is in Yoruba, the all-powerful God and being is not limited by gender and is a supreme deity among the Yoruba community, which is to say their God is non-binary. It is believed that they live in the sky, and the communication between people and God, or Oludumare, is carried out by the intercessors, angels, commonly known as the Orishas, but The Orishas take a little bit of a different form than what we think of when we hear of an angel. The Orisha in the Yoruba religion function in almost the same way as the Catholic saints, sort of. And they are, again, the intercessors between the world of humanity and the divine world. They often act on behalf of worshippers on earth and even sometimes against them. See, it's not exactly the same thing. Let me see what I can do. Hey, there's a translucent setting powder. Might try that one tomorrow. Or, I should say, next week. There are many different types of Orishas in the Yoruba religion, and it is believed that some were present at the time of creating the world, while others were actually human beings who transcended into a semi-divine state. So, some were kind of like Catholic saints, others were already there. I'm going to try this rose gold highlighter. I know this is not the step you're supposed to take yet. You're supposed to do the eyes first, but I just want to see if it works. Let's see. Yeah, that, I have to say, that highlighter works. Nice. Okay. I'm gonna do both sides around the same time. We are having some success today. I'm so happy. And especially without me having to paint the face white. This is what I was looking for. Let's see. Besides the ones that ascended from being humans and those that predated the existence of the world, there are also others that take the form of natural resources like a river, a tree, or anything else in the environment. And also, unlike the construct of angels, Orishas marry, divorce, drink, eat, and have taste of virtually anything from alcohol to music and anything else that humans also enjoy. There are many types of Orishas. Why is that duplicated? Okay. I don't know why those two lines duplicated, but anyway. While some are similar to the Western concept of an angel, there are also some key differences. Orishas are not perfect beings by any means. They actually have very human characteristics, a variety of quirks and different attitudes. And they also live on Earth rather than in the sky. And some say there are 400, others say there are more than 3,000. Obviously, I'm not going to go into every single one of them, and I am not even sure I could identify them all. I know of some, but let's be honest, 500 and 3,000 is either one of them is a very large number. I'm going to try on the eyelids an actual eyeshadow base instead of a white foundation to try to alleviate the streakiness, I got the NYX Professional Makeup. Let me see if I can get this to focus a bit. There we go. NYX Professional Makeup. This one is white. I got white, black, and pearl, depending on what purpose I want it for. Is this my last pen? No, I have more there. Okay, never mind. I try to dip the... I literally tried to dip it in, and there's a clear plastic film. That was smart. And of the real number of orishas, no one can be certain. Each orisha has their own color, their own drum beat, and even article of clothing that is associated with them. Orishas are also capable of possessing the bodies of their followers or priests. This is done through an elaborate dance ritual where certain orishas are evoked through a particular dance and drum beat, and the orishas rise up from the earth and mount the bodies and souls of those involved in the ritual. Unlike in Christianity, men and women can be holy practitioners of the Yoruba faith. However, it is a male-dominated religion. So while women may hold certain practitioner and spiritual leadership roles, they'll never truly attain the highest level of that. And that's not me reading, that's me remembering. This one isn't working so well. It seems like the base not so much melted the foundation, but it certainly both picked it up and melted it a bit. Note to self, next time avoid the eye area with the foundation, at least until you have the base down. I'm just doing my absolute best to try to make sure the foundation doesn't get in this, but we'll see. I would really like it to stay white if I can. Men and women can both take place in these rituals. Some humans involved in the ritual even gender bend the terms of their clothing if they want to summon an orisha of the opposite gender. The Yoruba religion does not emphasize salvation as in the Christian faith, but instead focuses on living a good life. And according to religion, reincarnation is not something to be escaped as it is in Buddhism, but it's rather considered a good thing. Deviant people or those who commit suicide and other cruel people are not reborn. Children are believed to be the reincarnation of ancestors, particularly of those ancestors that they resemble. Sorry, just trying to make sure that, especially where this is the side I am most prone to mess up, I just want to make sure I apply this base as well as I can. Generally I can do two things at once, but this is one of those times where I'm not going to attempt it. Let's see if I can. There we go. And eek. I also noticed, because alright, I'm going to try this left-handed. We'll see. I also noticed this particular head that I purchased. This is not the normal one that I use. I bought 3 more. This one seems a little bit misshapen compared to the others. I didn't feel inclined to return it because it wasn't so bad that it couldn't be used, so. But it could also affect my ability to apply things evenly. But we will see. Not bad. I'm slowly but surely starting to get a little bit better. To emphasize the concept of reincarnation in the Yoruba religion, names such as Babalunde, which translate to Father Returns, Yetlunde, which translates to Mother Comes Back Again, Babatunji, which translate to Father Wakes Up, is commonly used. Reincarnation, according to the Yoruba religion, gender is not an issue, and it is believed that it changes with reincarnation, which you also see in Buddhism, especially in Tibetan Buddhism, where, if I recall correctly, where I believe even the Dalai Lama said that he thinks his next incarnation is going to be female. I'm not going to finish the rest of what he said because it was not well received, but you know what? Instead of so jaded today, I have a Juvia's Place palette. Let's try to give this warrior goddess the face paint she so richly deserves. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I have any brushes left, because I still have not cleaned the ones that I have. I think I'm going to need this one? Probably not. And it looks like the only other one is a big fan brush, which is not going to be handy for this. So we will try to make do the best that we can. There's that. Don't you dare go to sleep on me. I'm washing my brushes this weekend. I just really wanted to get through this video. And this is where I go into Encyclopedia Britannica, because they had some interesting information as well. Not so much the first part, because they talk about mainly information that I've both already said, but they go into other parts that aren't really important to cover at this moment. There we go. One important aspect of Yoruba is that their god also underscores that the Yoruba philosophy is a folk philosophy that valorizes or holds in great esteem the Yoruba people's cardinal virtues, namely love, morality, temperance, honesty, honor, bravery, justice, prudence, and fortitude. And the word for head in Yoruba is ori, O-R-I. And it carries physical and spiritual connotations that cannot be separated. The ori defines the body. Other parts of the body are answerable to it. The ori holds the body's knowledge and its destiny. Okay, that's how it's attached to the person. Yoruba philosophy cannot exist without an ori. In a similar vein, Yoruba philosophy can be considered antecedent to Yoruba religion, in the same manner that every idea comes from the head before going into action. Ifa divination, and Ifa, I just want to make sure that I am not misquoting this, but if I am correct, the Ifa is basically the Orisha that is more assigned to the person. And it really depends on the group of practitioners that you follow. And again, I could be wrong on this, but I do know that each person has their own specific orishas that they call upon or they give particular respect to. And some Yoruba practitioners will actually have altars to them in their homes, and they will make offerings to them based on either what they're asking for help with. I'm using Ahosi. This is the Juvia's Place the Warrior palette. And I'm attempting to use Ahosi. I don't know if it's going to translate the way that I'm meaning it to. I'm trying to start off with a lighter color on the eyes instead of the darker one that I've been doing the past couple times, to see if it makes a difference in color application. I have to say this eyeshadow base is making things a bit like a paste instead of laying down the shadow. So I'm going to try something. If setting powder can fix the foundation, can it in fact fix the eyeshadow? But Ifa divination may not be common in other African philosophies. I can tell you that, however, the Ifa goes by another name in in other African-derived religions, much like the paganism is an umbrella, Yoruba has pretty much had the same effect. In that, when it comes to religions such as Vodou or Santeria or Hoodoo, anything of those particular groups, they're all derived originally from Yoruba. Yoruba is like the mother religion, and just like you would have in Christianity, Catholicism, Pentecostal, Baptist, and so on and so forth, you have these individual other religions that evolved from Yoruba. Yoruba practitioners will sometimes, not always, it depends on the scenario and what they are called upon to do by their orishas and per their practice, they may or may not involve some animal sacrifice depending on the ritual being performed. And that's the main reason why I didn't feel comfortable joining it. Not because it isn't an otherwise beautiful religion and a beautiful cultural practice, but I just didn't feel comfortable with that aspect, and me personally, it goes against my own spiritual practice. That is not me passing judgment. I know that some people watching this likely will, but I'm not going to, because it is not up to me to judge anybody for their spiritual practice, especially one that has been around for millennia. And as much as I personally dislike it, I don't really feel I have the right to judge anyone for it. It's just something that I didn't feel comfortable personally partaking in. But I go into more of that in tomorrow's video. You'll see what I mean. I'm actually a bit nervous about tomorrow's video because, or I should say Friday's video, because I go into a personal story, which is actually how I came to learn about not only this religion, but its practices to some degree, and belief systems. I'm trying as much as I can to be as respectful as I can to the fact that some aspects of this religion are very, very secretive and very, very, very I don't want to say superstitious, but I can't really think of another term for it right now. So I'm trying not to cross that line of respect, especially where I was taken in and given some assistance during a time I needed it. And over time, I will go into the Orisha and the Ifa in religions such as Vodou, Hoodoo, Santeria. They may go by the term the Loa. Let's see, I did a Hosi on the lid. I did Kana, which is another mat in the line right there. I'm forgetting my terminology. It's been a very, very long week. I'm going to attempt to put some of the color Amina using a brush. And like I say in almost every video, do not look to these videos as to how these colors and shadows work on human skin. These heads do not react the same way. You cannot go based off of these videos as to whether or not the product is any good. I got a little bit. I have to say it's a nice shimmer shade. Okay, can she do it left-handed? But yeah, I will try to, with time, give information about the Orishas and Loa and such that I know about, that I can find information for. But I'm going to give a strong word of caution. If you are a new practitioner of any kind, I encourage you not to try to call upon or delve into aspects of this particular belief system. Okay, that doesn't want to lay down, but that's likely due to all the other products on this eyelid. For one especially big reason. The Loa, the Orishas are not, like I've said a few times, they are not angels. They are not like normal gods and goddesses. These are deities or spirits or whatever you want to call them, that if you do not have the proper level of respect, if you do not do things the correct way, if you do not call upon them, offer the right things, or anything of that nature, they can and they absolutely freaking will make your life a living hell. And I am not saying that to be dramatic. I am saying that as a very clear word of caution, and it's something I will repeat in any video that I speak about them. They're not something to tangle with. They are not something that you should ever try to dabble with. You do not dabble with these deities and with these spirit beings. That's a big frickin' no-no. And I'm not saying that to be dramatic. I'm just giving an honest word of precaution. Whatever I talk about regarding these deities, don't mess with them, or they will make your life a living hell. I just want to do a pop of color I know that the Juvia's Place palette was all nude type colors, so I'm going to take a bit of Peridot from the So Jaded palette, and I'm going to try to lay it down a bit. Yep, there we go. Over part of the eye. I don't want to cover up the color that I just put down, but if I can just do a pop of color near the lid, I'll be happy. And maybe as an under eye. And this also goes to show that So Jaded palette can also be versatile and friendly to other skin tones besides my own. Let's see. I'm just trying to do a little bit of an under eye. Not much, just a little bit. Carry that color down a little bit. I'm still trying to learn, so if you guys can give me feedback on if there's any techniques or anything that you recommend I try doing that I haven't been doing, feel free to leave those in the comments below, because like I said and have been saying, I am not an expert by any means, but I am certainly willing to try new things. I am certainly willing to try new techniques. And that looks a little bit strange, so I'm going to see what, if anything, I might want to do on the maybe it's just a matter of blending out that harsh line. I think that may be it, although I'm not sure. I'm not going to be able to because of the eyeshadow base. Sorry, I know this video is going a little bit on the long side. Feel free to always watch my videos on a faster speed. I know I talk slowly and I work a little bit slowly, and I promise I'm going to try to work on learning how to video edit, so maybe at some point my videos aren't quite so long. So I thank anybody for their patience. I really do. It's not too bad. Could be better. Alright. Comes a time when you just have to say, okay, stop. But I am going to put down a lip color. What exactly? I don't know yet. I think that gold color. Possibly? I know this isn't all the information that I have written down and everything as pertaining to discussing Yoruba, but I think I've given a pretty good premise of things. Yeah, I think that gold color would be pretty on her. So I'm trying to make sure I don't draw outside the lines, and I'm trying to angle the brush in such a way that I get the lip without going outside. I think that's a pretty color for this look. Trying to brighten it up a little bit. I'm not sure I'll be able to or not. Again, this is the J-Cat palette. I got it at Ulta. It wasn't too expensive, and it has some a decent variety of lip colors. But as I've said in previous videos, but in case you're new here, they're not long wearing, they're not transfer proof or anything of that nature, so if that's something you're looking for, I wouldn't recommend it. But when it comes to using it as either a temporary color, or I have used it also in other ways in previous videos, such as even as an eyeshadow or another face paint. I think that's pretty good for today. Sorry, her face is a little bit dusty from the powder. I had to add more than I anticipated, but I think that looks a little bit better than what I've been doing so far. And again, I used the Juvia's Place palette on the eyelids for the most part, except for Peridot, which I used on the lower portion of the lid and the under eye. I used an Ulta box. I don't know if they still have it or not. For the blush and the highlighter, I used the J-Cat lip palette for the lips. I hope I've done her justice for today. But with all the information I've gone over, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I know I didn't go even over everything that I have, but I think this video is long enough, and I've delved into quite a bit of the content of Yoruba. So with all of that said, I hope I've given a decent basic premise and prepared you for my video on Friday, which I'm nervous as hell to post, but I'm going to. And if you have any questions, if you have any feedback, if you have any requests, feel free to comment them down below. Feel free to follow any of my social medias that are also listed down below if you want to get in touch or anything of that nature, especially on Twitter. I'm super active there. And until next time, brightest blessings and blessed be.